Yes, yes, and welcome. Looks like we're live. And let's get on in here. All right. Let's get started. First one up. Steven Raichlen was a pompous dick even back when he started.
Flavor. And a sizzling Argentinian filet mignon with chimichurri sauce. A global adventure with an all-American favorite, steak. I'm Steven Raichlen, and from the Tubac Golf Resort in southern Arizona.
Oh, of course you're filming at a golf resort, you pompous dick.
It's time to grill. People may dream of smoking whole hogs, but admit it, what you really want to know is how to grill the perfect steak. Well, today I'm going to show you the secret.
All right, now keep in mind his choice is T-bone. This is one of the premium steaks, especially for the grill. There's 4, but it's really 3: ribeye, porterhouse T-bone, and New York strip. The problem is the porterhouse and the T-bone, and well, technically the New York strip, are all the same fucking steak. They all come from the same part of the cow. The porterhouse is a little farther up, has a little bit more of the tenderloin on it. T-bone has less. And then New York strip is basically you cut the top part of a T-bone out, that long part, and there's your New York strip.
Of picking the right cut, applying the right rub, and setting up your grill. Make no mistake about it, it's all about steak. The idea of a Tubac T-bone was to recreate this incredible Tuscan experience using the flavors of Arizona. Thinly sliced jalapeno chilies, chopped fresh.
Why would you put that crap on a T-bone?
Cilantro, thinly sliced garlic, fried in olive oil in a cast iron American skillet, and then poured over this crustily grilled steak. First up on deck.
Oh, great. So we have beautiful T-bones.
A Tubac T-bone, inspired by the classic Tuscan bistecca alla Fiorentina, with a southwestern twist. The T-bone is actually 2 steaks in one, a meaty, richly flavored New York strip and a tender filet mignon, connected by a T-shaped bone. And I've selected steaks that are cut about 1.25 inches thick.
So, in today's money, you probably spend $50 on the steak, and you're going to bastardize them by putting a bunch of crap on it. The only seasoning a steak like this should have is salt and pepper.
Next step is to make the rub. It starts with anchovy.
Oh my God, you don't rub a T-bone, you pompous dick! Ah!
Chili powder, add dried oregano, ground cumin, garlic powder, mustard powder, and salt.
And here's another problem. He's using a gas grill.
and mix the ingredients with your fingers to break up any lumps. And what do you notice about this rub? It contains not a whit of sugar. Now sprinkle the rub on the T-bones on both sides. Steak brings out the inner caveman in all of us.
Why are you rubbing a T-bone? It's salt, pepper, and butter.
You know, you take a slab of red meat and you throw it on the
Yes,
fire.
I do use a gas grill for certain things. But if I'm going up to T-bone, if I'm going to go and spend that kind of money, I want the rich, smoky flavor of charcoal.
Fire.
Specifically, lump charcoal.
It's grilling at its best and its most primal. To generate some smoke flavor, we'll open this smoker box, add some soaked mesquite chips.
Of course, you could just throw some wood chunks on, again, some charcoal, but God forbid you do anything right.
And as always, before putting the steaks on, brush and oil your grill grate. And here's a neat trick for oiling a grate. It's a chunk of beef fat.
You know this does nothing. Because you see that... Okay, here's the thing. He's oiling his grill grate. Fine. You see that fire? That's burning the oil. So you've accomplished nothing.
We're working over a very hot fire here. 1 Mississippi, ouch. That's what you need to sear in the grill.
Again, best to work over lump charcoal.
Marks.
For steaks. Again, if this was burgers, I wouldn't care. If this was chicken, I'd actually recommend gas grills. If this was pork chops, do what you want. But if you're going to go to the money to buy decent steaks, spend the extra couple of bucks and get some fucking charcoal.
So put the steaks on the grill. So how do you lay on that handsome crosshatch of grill marks, which is the signature of any master griller? Well, arrange the steaks on the grill running on the diagonal to the bars of the grate, then give each steak a quarter turn after 2 minutes.
Yeah, the whole lines and grill marks, that's just over pompous-y dick shit.
Now, another secret to grilling the perfect steak is to leave yourself a safety zone. Don't overcrowd the grill. That way, if you get bad flare-ups, you can move the steak to a calmer part of the grill. So after 4 minutes, turn the steaks and check out those grill marks.
Gee, I would hope so with all the stupid fucking rub you put on it.
Now, while the steaks are grilling on this side, let me show you how to test for
And look, look, if this was like a sirloin steak or a sirloin tip steak or something that didn't like it, especially like an eye of round, something that didn't have a lot of flavor. Fine, rub it, marinate it, do whatever the fuck you want with it. A T-bone, porterhouse, all that shit has enough flavor on its own.
I call it the 4-finger thermometer at the end of your hands. Touch the tip of your thumb to the tip of your index finger and feel the pad of flesh at the base of your thumb.
Okay, this is the one good thing that he is actually giving here, so listen well. That'll be the only time in the video.
In a rare steak, it will feel soft and squishy. Now, move your thumb over to your middle finger and feel that pad. It's a little firmer. That is the feel of a medium rare steak. Move it over again to your ring finger. That pad is quite firm with just the gentlest resistance. That corresponds to a medium steak. Finally, move your finger over to your baby finger. That is the feel of a well done steak. That's not something you ever want to do, folks. And don't forget to...
And this will be one of the rare times where I will agree with him. Anyone who fucking... One of my biggest gripes about Donald Trump, well done steak. Him and Obama. What is wrong with you people? What is with presidents and wanting their food cooked to fuck?
crosshatch the grill marks on the bottom of the steak. So to do so, again, give each steak a quarter turn. And you see I've moved away from the center zone to dodge some of those flare-ups. I cannot stress the importance enough of not overcrowding your grill. Well, what I look for in a good steak is a crisp, savory crust and a really moist interior. I like my steak a little on the rare side of medium rare. What I like about a steak is its utter simplicity. It's just about the meat and about the fire. So give the steak the poke test. It feels like...
Yeah, by the way, this guy did not go to culinary school. He actually went to writing school. He's like a failed writer.
A perfect medium rare.
How he got
To
this
play it
gig,
safe,
I
you
don't
can
fucking
check
know.
Using an instant read.
Some pompous dickhead at some local PBS station gave him a show.
Thermometer. Don't insert it in the meat this way. Insert it this way, through the side of the steak. What you want is about...
You don't really need to thermometer. The touch test should be enough. It's beef. You can eat the fucking shit raw.
130 to 135 degrees. Remember, the steak is going to continue to cook after you take it off the grill. Okay, so these guys are ready. And man, does that look inviting.
Great! And I'm waiting for you to bastardize it with some ridiculous salsa or something. Because I haven't even seen the cilantro yet.
Meanwhile, let me show you how to make the 2-buck topping. Now, another nice feature on a grill is a gas side burner. I've preheated a cast iron skillet and add about 1/4 cup.
You know, they sell gas ranges for the outdoors. They only cost a couple $100.
Of extra virgin olive oil. Then add thinly sliced garlic, thinly sliced jalapeno chilies, fresh of course, and chopped fresh cilantro.
Great! We're making a salsa and a sauce, or what the fuck ever this is, for a steak that doesn't fucking need it. Wonderful!
Now cook these ingredients together until fragrant and golden brown. So with the steak, you can serve some grilled corn and grilled jalapeno chilies. And our
Okay, not what I would serve with a steak, but you do you.
Arizona Hellfire is ready. Pour the sizzling garlic and jalapenos over the T-bones.
Great, completely ruin it. Again, you spent probably $50 on the steak. You might as well just made fucking hamburger.
2-buck T-bone, a steak that explodes with flavor.
And here's the thing, that sauce might be good, but I would never put it on a T-bone. On a burger, sure, not a problem. On a cheaper steak, sure, not a problem.
Let's see how we did. Beautiful medium rare. Mmm. Korean barbecue is really fun to eat. You don't just get a steak on your plate that you cut into it with a knife and fork. There are probably a half dozen to a dozen different kinds of kimchis, pickles, there's a bowl of rice. There might be a little kebab of grilled garlic cloves or maybe grilled scallions. And you put all of these ingredients together on a romaine lettuce leaf. Talk about
What the fuck is this? What is he doing with a ribeye?
flavor. It's like 4th of July fireworks going off in your mouth. Bulgogi is a Korean barbecue treasure. Ribeye steak marinated.
Yeah, and you're talking about the 4th of July. The only thing that's playing in my mind now is that scene from Unforgiven where Little Bill beats the shit out of English Bob because he's talking about the Queen on Independence Day.
Candy sweet in sugar, garlic, and soy sauce. In the U.S., we like our steaks big. The bigger, the better. This one...
No, depends on what we're doing with the steak. If I'm like, let's say, making steak fajitas, I prefer the steak a little bit thinner so I can get the nice little itty-bitty pieces.
Proves the old adage, you can never be too rich or too thin. First, the steaks. These are ribeyes, which I asked my butcher to cut 1/4 inch thin on a meat slicer.
It's a little thin. I'd probably go a 1/2 inch, but okay.
Next, the marinade. It starts with soy sauce, chopped fresh scallion,
why the fuck do you need to marinate a ribeye?
sugar for sweetness,
What is wrong with this
rice
dude?
wine,
It's a
sesame
ribeye. It's
oil,
got enough
which is a very
flavor on its
distinctive
own.
ingredient, 8 cloves of thinly sliced garlic, sesame seeds, and black pepper. Whisk the ingredients together until the sugar is dissolved.
This is what happens when you take grilling lessons from someone who has no fucking testosterone.
Then pour 1/3 of the marinade into the baking dish. Arrange the steaks on top.
At least he has an advance to keeping the meat on ice at this point.
And pour the remaining marinade on top. Because these steaks are so thin, they only need 1 to 2 hours for marinating. Please remember to marinate them in the refrigerator. And this...
Why? Why? Because if you marinate them in the refrigerator, right, you're going to have to let them come up to room temp. Because if you put steak on a grill stone cold, like right out of the fridge, you're going to get a real shit result.
This is what the steaks look like when they're ready. Now, 2 more quick preparations, folks. First, the Asian pear dipping sauce.
And also, you don't need to marinate a fucking ribeye.
This is an Asian pear, and it's both sweet pear-like, and it has a really nice crunch to it. So, 1 diced Asian pear. To this, add...
Yeah, here's a tip for your steaks. Always let your steaks come up to room temperature.
finely chopped scallion.
Because if you take them out of the fridge and they're dead-ass cold and you put them on the hot grill, what's going to happen is the outside is going to be about rare, but the inside will be dead blue. Now, if you like blue steaks, like really blue steaks, have at it. But, yeah. Let your meat rise to room temperature, then put it on the grill.
Then granulated sugar. Rice wine.
Are there exceptions to this? Sure. Like chicken. But chicken, we go low and slow.
Or sherry. Soy sauce.
Hell, I usually let my the only exception for beef is if you're cooking like quarter-pound patties, like quarter-pound beef patties. Usually I want them fairly cold, but they're so thin that they're gonna cook no matter. They're thin enough where it's not gonna matter.
And sesame seeds.
But if I'm doing half-pound or quarter or a third-pound patties, typically I'll let them kind of warm up a little bit.
Whisk these ingredients together until the sugar is dissolved. And last of all, a couple of vegetables to throw on the grill. trimmed scallions and garlic cloves.
That doesn't look like trim scallions. They look like weeping, sad sacks of shit scallions.
Skewered on a toothpick. We'll cook the bulgogi on an Asian grill called a hibachi. And this one has a couple of interesting features. A load chute that opens in the front to allow you to add more charcoal, and a damper. The more you open the damper, the higher the heat will be. First, put the vegetables on the grill. They are fine served at room temperature, whereas the steak should come off sizzling hot. Next, put the steaks on the grill.
Although those hibachi grills are cool. I hate to give the guy a W, but hey,
These only need a couple minutes per side, so don't forget to turn our garlic cloves and scallions and our bulgogi steaks. Look at that. You know, folks, they tend to cook a little faster in the center, so don't be afraid to move the steaks around. The meat is cooked over hot coals, and in Korea they always use live charcoal. So what happens is you sort of caramelize the sugar and the soy.
What the fuck is live charcoal? What, you mean over charcoal? Yeah, because again, charcoal gives a better flavor than gas.
Sauce, then the meat acquires almost like a candy crispness. Now, another thing I like about Korean grilling is that it's a very healthy way to eat meat.
No, it's... Oh my god, no, it's not! If you want to eat the health or whatever of the meat is the type of meat. There's no way to make a ribeye particularly healthy.
All the bulgogi ingredients are done. First, take off the garlic and scallions. Then take off the steaks. And here are the ribeyes. Now let me show you how to put this together. First, take a romaine lettuce leaf and spread it with Korean hot sauce. Then
Sriracha.
a clove of grilled garlic, a couple of grilled scallions. Grab
Okay, so I have a charred to fuck garlic clove. I got a charred to fuck bit of green scallions, which are also green onions, which are also spring onions. I have a mutilated ribeye that is over fucking done.
And roll the whole shebang up like a wrap.
And now I just made a lettuce
pear dipping
roll.
sauce.
Oh God! My Asian ancestors weep. It was an odd part of the family history. We don't talk about it.
It's the steak version of health.
There's an adopted brother and some human smuggling and my involvement with the Yakuza. It's a story.
Food. As a rule, Argentinians like their meats very simply grilled, but they have one sauce that appears everywhere in Argentina, and it's explosively flavored.
Now, does this sauce come with a cheap steak or a good steak? Or, well, I take that back. I'm going to say expensive steak, because you can make cheap steak good. You just have to work at it a little bit more.
And it solves a very interesting problem. It's called chimichurri, and it's made by pureeing vampire-defying...
Great! One of the most pretentious fucking sauces.
...doses of garlic with chopped fresh parsley.
And you're gonna... You're gonna add it to filet mignon. Well, that's better than ribeye.
Olive oil and red wine vinegar. Whenever Argentinians fire up the grill, you can be sure that steak will be on the menu.
Why do I think if I contacted Argentinians, they would tell you to shut the fuck up?
Here's the most tender steak of all, filet mignon. Today, it's prepared gaucho style with a double blast of flavor. A dry chimichurri rub and a fresh chimichurri sauce.
Once, oh God. Most expensive part of the cow.
It's all about the beef.
It's probably about $150 right there.
The Primal Grill. First up, the rub. Combine coarse sea salt, cracked or freshly ground black peppercorns, dried oregano, hot pepper flakes, and garlic powder. Mix the ingredients with your fingers, breaking up any lumps. Sprinkle the rub on the filet mignons on both sides. Next up, the sauce. Traditionally, chimichurri is made with flat leaf parsley. I like to boost the flavor with chopped fresh mint and chopped fresh cilantro.
Of course, because everything has to have cilantro in it.
Next, add about
You do know that cilantro doesn't have a lot of flavor, right?
4 cloves of finely chopped garlic, hot pepper flakes, and salt and pepper to taste.
Don't get me
Array
wrong,
these ingredients
cilantro
in
has
a
its
food
place,
processor.
but Jesus tap dancing
Adding
Christ.
distilled white vinegar, a little water, and extra virgin olive oil. Don't forget to taste the chimichurri for seasoning.
Could we add a shot of whiskey so your tea count can rise from 6 to maybe 10?
Adding salt and pepper to taste. That fresh mint is really nice. Now, let me show you 2 traditional vegetable accompaniments to Argentinian barbecue. The first is grilled eggplant. Start with eggplant slices cut about 1/2 inch thick. Brush both sides with extra virgin olive oil. Season with salt, pepper, dried oregano,
That's not really seasoning anything. Like, you seasoned the shit out of one and gave
and
the other one
half
nothing.
with sweet paprika.
It's like you're a fucking, a Mormon husband who has like 2 wives. One he fucks 6 days out of the week. The other one he finally goes in and fucks her on the 7th.
And of course, do the other side the same way. Finally, red bell peppers. Simply brush them on all sides.
Well, I'm assuming you're going to put the peppers on the grill, so this is pointless.
Always grilled, and when I used to live in Boston, I would chip the ice off of my grill in February and go out and grill. But it wasn't really until I started doing research for my first barbecue book, and I started traveling around the world to see how people grilled in other countries, that I really came to
God, I really hope taxpayers didn't fund that fucking trip.
appreciate the incredible versatility of grilling and broad range of flavors. Argentinians love to grill over wood, which brings me to this cool wood-burning grill. Now, the way it works is simple. You build a fire in the open firebox, and in the style of Argentina, I'm using oak. Now, a couple other neat features about this grill. You control the heat by raising or lowering the grate using this flywheel. The grill grates themselves are these V-shaped channels which funnel the fat into the drip pan. And as always, we start with a hot grill. We clean it with a stiff wire brush
Do not clean your grills with wire brushes. The bristles can break off, get into the food, and land you in the hospital.
And in Argentina, you'll actually watch guys dip their grill brushes in a bucket of salt water. Then using an oiling cloth or a folded paper towel, oil the bars.
Do the perfectly worthless task of this. I mean, look, if you want to oil your grates, fine. You're just wasting oil. It's like adding oil to boiling water that you're going to put pasta in. It's pointless. I mean, you can do it if you want to, but you're just wasting oil. Just stir the fucking pasta a little bit. And, you know, adding salt. That's important. Salt is important. But adding olive oil, just a waste of olive oil.
First, put on the peppers. And I always like to start by grilling the vegetables. Vegetables are much more forgiving in terms of split-second timing than meat. Next, put on the eggplant. And notice I line up the vegetables with soldierly precision. Not only does this look more professional, it helps the vegetables cook more evenly. Finally, put on the filet mignons. Cooking time for the steaks, about 4 minutes per side. It's funny, when I was growing up, my mother was the primary grill master in the family, and she was a very
What a shock!
impetuous person. She was a ballet dancer. And when she made steak, she would light our grill with charcoal and gasoline. She'd take a thick steak.
I think that's where you got the brain damage, Steve. Never, ever, ever use gasoline to light your charcoal.
And
either use lighter fluid, a chimney starter, a blowtorch, or one of those fire cube fucking things.
it would spend about
Not gasoline.
enough time on the grill for the outside to become charred black as coal, and the inside was just barely shy of mooing. It's a method called Pittsburgh Rare.
Yeah, basically what she did was she got the fire so goddamn hot, and she probably brought him out of the fridge stone cold, where the outside is charred and the inside is, you know, still mooing.
So what's the advantage of grilling over wood? Well, of course, there's the high, dry heat that's perfect for searing the meat.
Well, okay, it's the smoke, Steve. Let's be 100. It doesn't get as hot as lump charcoal. It's way more unpredictable. But it provides a better heat than briquette charcoal, or a hotter heat. And you don't have to worry about flame ups. It doesn't burn hot enough where that would be an issue.
But the wood also imparts a delicate smoke flavor. It's different than the heavy smoke flavor you find in Kansas City or the American South. It's a light smoke flavor, and it's just
depends on what wood you use, buddy.
perfect for beef.
Like, if I was grilling over actual wood, I'd still, even if it was beef, I'd probably still go for, if it was steak, I might be able to be talked into hickory or mesquite. But I'd probably still go with fruit woods, apple, cherry.
You want to grill the peppers until browned on all sides. And you can see if they're cooking a little hotter in the back. Don't be afraid to rotate them to the front. Remember, grilling is an interactive sport. Likewise, turn the eggplants.
I think you fucked your eggplant, Steve.
When the filet mignons are browned on one side, turn them over.
They're browned on both.
And grill on the other.
You didn't
The aroma
do
of
it
the
quick
oat
enough,
milk
bud.
is absolutely terrific. So the filet mignons are done. Transfer them to a platter. And now the vegetables. And you can spoon the chimichurri sauce
Oh, God!
on either side of the filet mignons. Gaucho grilled filet mignons with chimichurri, grilled eggplant, and grilled peppers. It's an Argentinian tradition.
Oh, hey, Argentina. Is that fucking true, you dickheads?
Take a couple of eggplants. If you eat with your eyes, this dish is a feast of color. The meat is nice
My God, this was back in the day when he actually took a decent-sized bite.
and rare. And you know what? The fresh herbs in the chimichurri sauce counteract the pungency of the garlic. So there you have it. Tubok T-bone, Korean bulgogi, Argentinian grilled filet mignon.
Oh, thank God. I've had just about enough of this pompous asshole today. Now let's go to a guy that, well, he always makes me laugh. I'm sorry he's not with us anymore. This is Grandpa's Kitchen. This is the most viewed lasagna video. And I don't know if he cooks for an orphanage or what, but like I said, I'm sorry this guy's gone. I almost didn't do this video because I didn't want to be sad. Not to be an ass or to piss on other cultures, but do you guys have forks?
Loving, caring, sharing. This is my family.
Hold on. Gotta get a fresh beer. Gotta toast Grandpa.
Hello guys, how are you?
Grandpa, this one's for you.
Welcome to our channel. This is your grandpa. Today I am preparing Italian special recipe, lasagna. Let's start.
All right.
Boneless chicken. Let's
Okay. Oh, right. They can't have beef.
clean chicken.
Why can't they have sausage? Is there... Oh, I suppose India is both Hindus and Muslims, so chicken's the easiest way to go. Not sure why you have to clean the chicken, but... I don't live in India. Alright. Bunch of onions, peppers.
Butter. Onions.
Alright.
My boyfriend and I have been arguing because he won't pay for YouTube Premium. But it's okay because I've just downloaded.
Garlic. Chopped chicken.
I've never heard of adding the... I've never made lasagna out of ground chicken, but I've never heard of adding the chicken after the onions. Onions only take 2 damn minutes. But whatever. I don't know how he's gonna bake this damn thing.
Chopped tomatoes. Tomato paste.
I didn't know they sold tomato paste in jars that big. Son of a bitch.
Red chili flakes.
That's a healthy portion.
Black pepper. Mixed ಎಷ್ಟು.
All right, so I'm getting hungry.
Chopped bell peppers.
Again, the only thing that I'm seeing here is you added the peppers like way after the onions, way after the garlic, way after the. I mean, unless his goal was to get like the onions to dissolve or something.
Salt. Red chili sauce. Water.
Now it almost looks like he's making taco shit. But, guys, if you...
Let's boil. Lasagna. Water.
I'm curious how he's gonna bake this. I truly am.
Salt.
Oh, you should have added the salt before the noodles went in, but at least you got it in there. I don't want to be mean. Come on, this is Grandpa. Now, with the lasagna noodles, I might break a rule and add some olive oil and swirl it all around so they don't stick together.
Lasagna sheet ready. Let's make white sauce. Butter. Refined flour.
Alright, making a roux.
Milk.
Okay. What the hell is he doing now? You know,
White
there's
pepper.
this. Thank God, I was just gonna say this. Where's the salt and pepper coming?
Water.
Okay, actually, that
Mixed
came
up.
that came together. Son
Audiences
of a
are loving
bitch.
Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts.
Look what you unleashed.
Is an MCU
Nice bechamel.
White sauce ready. Preheat oven.
Okay, now, okay.
Sand.
Alright.
Butter. First layer white sauce.
Okay, now, I just had to ask this. Why aren't you doing it with tomato sauce? Ah, whatever. Here's lasagna.
Boiled lasagna. Third layer.
Although that fucking chicken meat sauce, whatever the thing, fucking looks delicious.
Cheese. Mozzarella cheese.
Wait, what was the other cheese? Now I'm confused.
Second chip.
Okay, now he's adding not another meat layer. Skip over something?
Meat sauce.
All right, there we go. Okay, now there's this block cheese that I know is not Parmesan. And then they add mozzarella. Whatever. I'm assuming it's something in India. Probably panda cheese so that fucking panda bear doesn't come and maul them. Yeah, here comes the mozz.
When your kid is hurting and there's nothing you can do about it.
Mozzarella cheese.
Alright, when are you gonna put this bastard in your oven?
Mixed left.
You know what's funny? If Grandpa's Kitchen had started today, he'd have been much better off speaking Indian. Or whatever their dialect is there. Because that's the majority of cooking videos on YouTube. Seriously, type in any recipe, go upload date. The first about 100 uploads will be from India.
Let's back.
Now, I actually would maybe one of these days try this big-ass pot with sand as an oven. Okay, I'm turning it into a Dutch oven. It's working. Did the job. Son of a bitch. Dear God, these guys must have callous as fuck hands. No, let your mozzarella... Let that shit sit for a minute. They pulled it too early. Ow. Like, he gets a utensil, he gets a fork.
Chicken lasagna, super.
See, that's why I was wondering if you cooked for an orphanage, because you always had like 8 zillion kids. And it's like, can we not afford silverware? Now, this is a short. This is the most viewed cheeseburger video on all of YouTube for all time limits. So this thing has like, I don't know, like fucking over 100 fucking million views. Alright.
पता नहीं मेरा भाई सुबह उठते ही मुझसे
Alright, already problems. Your bun is way too thick.
बोलने लगा कि आज तो मैं बाहर
I mean, at least you're toasting it. I'll give you that. But sweetheart, your bun's way too thick.
जाऊंगा और मैकडी का बर्गर खाऊंगा जाकर.
And no, I don't really, yeah, I know you're an attractive girl, but your bun's way too fucking thick.
आज पता नहीं मेरा भाई सुबह उठते ही मुझसे बोलने लगा
Bun
कि
way
आज
too
तो मैं
thick.
बाहर जाऊंगा और मैकडी का.
And I don't know what language you're speaking. I don't give a shit what language you're speaking. I don't care if every fucking male in your country is pissed off with me right now. Your bun's way too fucking thick.
का बर्गर खाऊंगा जाके. पहले तो मैंने ध्यान नहीं दिया पर वो मुझे बार-बार सुना के बोल रहा था. तो सुनते-सुनते मेरा भी बर्गर खाने
So we're adding a bunch of
का मन होने
shit
लगा तो
to,
मैंने कहा
I
ठीक है
don't know,
भाई मैं भी चलूंगी
something,
तुम्हारे
probably
साथ. तो वो
ground
बोला
chicken. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can decipher what her fucking ingredients were. Actually, it looks like potatoes. All right, so this looks like potatoes.
के बोल रहा था.
Some
तो
spices. Looks like garlic powder, dried mustard, paprika, chili powder, and I can't make out the other one.
तो मेरा भी बर्गर खाने
And then
का मन होने
flour.
लगा तो मैंने कहा ठीक है भाई मैं भी चलूंगी
And
तुम्हारे
turned
साथ.
into
तो वो
this
बोला
thing.
तूने अपना मुंह देखा है मैकडी का बर्गर खाएगी. इस बात ने मेरे आत्मसम्मान
So
को
she's
बहुत
making
ठेस
basically
पहुंचाई. तो
potato
मैंने भी भाई को
cakes.
चैलेंज कर दिया कि अब तो मैं मैकडी
she's,
से अच्छा बर्गर बना के दिखाऊंगी.
I
चैलेंज
don't
सुनते ही
know,
भाई
spreading
बोला चाय तो
pesto,
बनानी आती नहीं बर्गर बनाएगी. अब तो मैंने
some
सोच
sort of
लिया कि 15
sauce,
मिनट के अंदर ही बर्गर बना के दिखा
cheese,
दूं. तो मैंने जल्दी
or
जल्दी से
potato
फ्रिज खोल के
cakes.
देखी उसमें कुछ एक चीजें थी और
I'm
जो चीजें
assuming this is
नहीं
just
थी वो
sour
मैं भाग के ले
cream.
आई जाके. फिर मैंने जल्दी जल्दी से चटपटी आलू
Tomatoes
की
and
टिक्की बनाई. चीज
cucumbers. Do they not have fucking pickles where
ग्रेट
you
किया,
are?
टमाटर प्याज और खीरा
And
रखा
then
और पूरे मन से
some
अपना 100% दिया.
cheese
अच्छा
and your ratio of bread to everything else is still off. Everything else and your bottom bun are the exact fucking same.
बर्गर बनाने में. लेकिन तभी भाई आ जाता है और मुझसे बर्गर छीन के बोलता है मैकडी तो बस बहाना था, असली मकसद तो तुझसे बर्गर बनवाना था.
If somebody had stolen that burger from me, I'd honestly thank them. All right, we're gonna do Cooking with Jack because I guess I want to end on an angry note.
You are watching the Cooking with Jack show.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. Jack Scalfani here.
Jack, in all seriousness, before I make fun of you for this video, would you take your rehab seriously, for Christ's sakes? Yeah, I know, you've had 3 strokes, but full paralysis of one side is exceptionally rare unless you don't do the rehab. Now, I don't know. Maybe you have a bad habit of listening to your crazy Jesus' fucking life cunt of a wife. But don't put your money in faith healers. Anyway, off my soapbox.
Just want to let you know that a new thing we're doing on Cooking with Jack show is we're doing food news.
And there's a long story between his fucking Jesus-y cunty wife and how she is a horrible person. He's a horrible father. So, and all sacrifice on the altar of Jesus.
They're not a part of these videos. They'll be separate, okay? They'll be like shorts. So, if you're looking for some food headlines, be looking for those videos, okay? Those are coming. All right, but today we're doing crispy, one sheet tacos.
All right.
So it's kind of like
I have never heard of one sheet tacos. I've heard of excuse me. I've heard of sheet pan tacos, but those are like more akin to like creating mini tacos.
just a cookie sheet, a flat pan, okay? So why don't you come in close? What do you think we got? I think we have everything to make these tacos. Be quick and easy, so get ready. Basically, we got onion, cilantro, meat, that's all for the tacos, salsa to dip tacos, cheese and sour cream, refried beans and green chilies, tortillas, cumin, of course, onion, is that onion? Yeah. Onion, chili powder. This is a olive oil spray. And then instead of garlic and salt, we're going to use this black garlic salt. So
What's the point of the black
let's take care of that. You guys can season however you want. You want to do taco seasoning, go right ahead. I don't care. But for right now, let's first go do the meat. Take our olive oil spray. Give it a good...
Jack, the ground chuck, it's 80-20. It doesn't need anything. It'll generate enough fat. If it was chicken, I'd agree. Well, actually, I wouldn't agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do spray. I'd simply just pour a little olive oil in.
Then we'll sit here and tear open our meat and get it all ready. Put that in there. All right. Put that on there.
Dude, that much seasoning for 1 pound of ground beef? Also, isn't it traditional in tacos, you brown the beef, you drain it, then you return it to the pan, then you add your spice mix, or your taco packets, whichever. Add some water and then kind of simmer it in that shit?
That all mixed around. You know, I'm going to take the diced green chilies and throw that on top too. We're going to mix it all. Oops.
What? What is going on?
A lot more where that came from. Alright, now we're going to toss the onion in. Get that in quarter.
Oh my god. Oh, these... Oh god, these people and their fucking timings.
Incorporated.
See, the reason I was nice to Grandpa when he made a few mistakes was Grandpa was a very sweet man that I liked. Jack is an asshole that I hate. What is with your fucking timings here? You add onions about a minute after you add the goddamn fucking hamburger.
Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to do one taco. You're going to do a whole bunch of them on your own. So you take one
Alright.
of the tortillas. We warmed it in the microwave for like 30 seconds.
Alright, you have
Wrapped
a corn tortilla.
wet paper
fine.
towel around it to keep it moist. We're going to take a little bit of beans. Then we're going to take a little bit of meat. A little bit of cheese. A little cilantro. There we go. You're going to carefully press that in half. Give it a good press. Like that. You can slide that to the next one. Make them however you want. Make a whole bunch of them. All right, guys.
What the hell is that? Those resemble like the type of pussies that demon mistresses make you lick in hell.
You can see the edges are crispy.
Oh yeah, I see. What the fuck is this? First off, if I was to do this, I'd have deep fried the damn things.
They came out perfect. We probably put a little bit too much filling, so you can cut down a little bit on the filling. Give it
You put way too. I don't know what this is.
a good press down. If you like Jack in the Box tacos, but if you like, Hispanic down home tacos, this is it. Look at that. It's beautiful. Okay, guys. So
God, it's like something Jake would do.
Tammy has this thing when she has tacos. She'll mix sour cream with salsa. I've never done that and blend it all together. She loves it. Give it a try. Kind of creative. I'm going to dip in it just out of respect because it's kind of her favorite thing. She has another bowl for her after we're done shooting. But these came out great. You can do a whole sheet of these for the whole family. You can do 2 sheets. 2 sheets to the win, get it? Oh no, that's 3 sheets. Never mind. Cut that out. Alright, so let's give it a try.
Oh, crap.
A little bit of cheese.
Maybe you should drink more. It'll thin your blood. Maybe give you the use of your fucking arm back.
Hot. Oh my goodness. If you guys got a Mexican food craving, this will satisfy it. This really came out better than I thought. It looked good, nice and crispy. One pan, boom. You saw how easy it was to make. So, give this a try.
No. And that ends, I don't know, I guess this edition of me reacting to cooking videos. Till next time, good night. And, but before I go, decent chance I'll be on my other channel, Lord of Patriarchy, a little bit later. But right now, I have to cook food